Have you ever sat at your desk watching emails pile up, realizing that almost none of them are actually your job? People constantly routing questions to your department that clearly belong somewhere else. In the 1960s, the Federal Bureau of Investigation dealt with the ultimate version of that exact headache. Only instead of misdirected billing questions, their inbox was flooded with letters demanding answers about unidentified flying objects. Pop culture has trained us to picture the FBI hiding aliens in secret underground bunkers, or dispatching agents in black suits. The day-to-day reality of processing these reports was far less glamorous. This is an actual, declassified FBI file from that era. As you can see from the thick layer of routing stamps, it got passed around quite a bit. Which throws up an interesting question. When an everyday citizen sat down and reported a flying saucer sighting to the nation's top law enforcement agency, what exactly did the agents do with that piece of paper? The story behind these files is a record of intense bureaucratic irritation and a massive tangle of administrative red tape. Take the case of Florence Dow. In the late summer of 1966, this 62-year-old woman from New Hampshire decided to write directly to the director of the FBI. In this handwritten letter, Florence explains that while she was a member of a civilian UFO group, she wasn't reporting an alien encounter. She was writing because she suspected a competing saucer club was secretly operating as a front for the Communist Party, and she wanted to make sure her own name was cleared. To understand why a grandmother was writing the FBI about flying saucer clubs, we have to remember the intense geopolitical paranoia of the 1960s. People were actively searching for hidden threats, often projecting their fears of foreign influence onto anything they didn't fully understand. Florence wasn't alone. Around the exact same time, an IRS employee in Philadelphia reached out to the Bureau's local field office. He had bought a subscription to a saucer magazine for his space-obsessed son, only to conclude that the articles were secretly pushing propaganda. This is the cover of issue number 24 of Flying Saucers International, a magazine that blended space-age wonder with emerging counterculture ideas. Inside this issue, readers found a special broadcast allegedly transmitted by someone named Kaylin Lee Rattan, an extraterrestrial from the planet Corindor. The alien's message contained a lengthy critique of the military-industrial complex and the economic drivers of the Vietnam War. While we might read that today as quirky science fiction, to citizens deeply entrenched in the Cold War, these counterculture messages felt like coordinate threats that required immediate federal intervention. So how does J. Edgar Hoover handle a stack of mail warning him about radical anti-war aliens? The Bureau deployed its most effective administrative tool, the polite, standardized form letter. As shown in this response to Mrs. Dow, the FBI thanked citizens for their concern and then firmly explained that matters regarding flying saucers were strictly not within their jurisdiction. The FBI operated on a strict policy of passing the buck. Any inquiry regarding extraterrestrials or unidentified aerial phenomena was routed directly to the military, specifically the Department of the Air Force. During this era, the Air Force was managing Project Blue Book, their own long-running investigation into these sightings. They had also recently commissioned a major government-funded study at the University of Colorado led by physicist Dr. Edward Condon. Internally, the agents processing this constant stream of paperwork were losing their patience. On news clippings circulating within the Bureau, agents scribbled dismissive notes, with one explicitly labeling the prominent physicist heading the government study a publicity hound. To ensure nobody could accuse them of ignoring a tip, the Bureau would carbon copy the Air Force on their polite rejection letters. They wanted the paper trail definitively closed on their end. These files reveal a rigid bureaucracy aggressively avoiding any extra work, showing that a clear desk was more important than investigating the secrets of the universe. Let's skip ahead to 1977. Florence Dow's letters have been sitting in storage for over a decade, but now a much more powerful entity is asking the exact same questions. An official from the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy picks up the phone and calls the FBI. He wants to know exactly what the Bureau's internal, secret procedures are for handling public reports about UFOs. This was the logical moment for the director to finally unlock the vault and brief the president's staff on the actual findings. But the FBI gave the White House the exact same routine they gave ordinary citizens: they flatly stated they had no jurisdiction to investigate flying saucers. As this memo shows, information was passed to the Air Force, with no further action taken. The declassified record shows that the great government UFO conspiracy is really an endless loop of paperwork, where the primary mission was to forward a headache to a different department. You can read through these original letters and memos yourself in the public archives. Because while the truth might actually be out there somewhere, in the government's eyes, it usually arrives with a routing slip.